Hello friends, this is second part in the chapter carboxylic acids. In our previous session we have studied about the nomenclature and methods of preparation, how to prepare carboxylic acids. Today we shall study their physical and chemical properties. Beginning with physical properties. The first physical property is their physical state. Carboxylic acids up to C10 means those which contain up to 10 carbon atoms, they are liquids. They are liquids. What kind of liquids? They are colorless liquids. They are colorless liquids and pungent smelling. They are colorless and pungent smelling liquids, means irritating smelling liquids. Those which contain C1 to C4, they are oily liquids. Up to carbon 10, they are liquids. Among them, those which contain 1 carbon to 4 carbons, they are oily liquids, and those beyond 10 carbon atoms, they are waxy solids. So this is first physical property. Those which contain up to 10 carbon atoms, they are pungent smelling colorless liquids. Especially those which contain 1 to 4 carbon atoms, they are oily liquids, and those beyond C10, they are waxy solids. Then second property. The physical constants, that is, it could be boiling point, melting point, etc. The physical constants of carboxylic acids are always greater than corresponding hydrocarbons. That is, their boiling points, melting points, and other physical properties and other physical constant values, it is always greater than their corresponding hydrocarbons. This is due to the reason that they form hydrogen bonding. Because of hydrogen bonding, as seen in carboxylic acids, their physical constants, their melting points, their boiling points, etc., they have higher value when you compare them with their corresponding hydrocarbons. Then third, carboxylic acids tend to exist in dimeric form. You might have heard the word polymer. Similarly, we have monomer. Monomer means which is made up of only one unit. A polymer is made up of many units. Then what could be dimer? A dimer is made up of 2 units. So these carboxylic acids, by virtue of their extensive intermolecular hydrogen bonding, they exist in dimeric form. What does this mean? You see, this is a carboxylic acid, RCOOH. Similarly, we have another carboxylic acid, RC double bond OH. So these two carboxylic acids, because of intermolecular hydrogen bonding, exist in the form of a dimer, and even in the vapor phase, these hydrogen bonds, they do not break. It is for this reason many a times carboxylic acids will give you abnormal molar mass. You will study about this concept in solutions chapter. We have a topic called abnormal molar mass, where the molecular mass or the molar mass of a substance should be as predicted, but it is actually not. The predicted molar mass value for a compound differs from the actually calculated value or actually obtained value. This is because of intermolecular hydrogen bonding, because of non-breaking of the bond. Which bond? Hydrogen bond between two carboxylic acid molecules. They tend to exist in dimeric form. Because they exist in dimeric form, they show abnormal molar mass values. Then we have another physical property with respect to solubility. Those which contain up to 4 carbon atoms, they are soluble in water. Carboxylic acids which contain 1 to 4 carbon atoms, they are soluble in water. But the rest of them means beyond C4, they are insoluble in water. They are insoluble in water. However, they are soluble in organic solvents like ether, benzene, chloroform, carbon tetrachloride, etc. Why are they soluble in water? Means which members? Up to C4 they are soluble in water because they can form hydrogen bonds with water. So they are soluble in water. Rest of the members, I mean higher members, those beyond C4, they are insoluble in water. This means to say, as the number of carbon atoms increases, solubility decreases. As the number of carbon atoms increases, solubility decreases. Then the last property is with respect to benzoic acid, which is one aromatic carboxylic acid. Benzoic acid is insoluble in water. It is insoluble in water, but it is volatile in steam. Means if you put a spoonful of benzoic acid in normal water, cold water at room temperature, it won't solubilize in it. It won't mix in water. But if the same benzoic acid is mixed with the vapors of water, then it becomes volatile. It vaporizes in steam. So benzoic acid is steam volatile. These are the 5 physical properties you need to remember from carboxylic acid chapter. The next part is chemical properties. Chemical properties. The first chemical property is reactions involving OH bond cleavage. Reactions involving OH bond cleavage. Under this we have first property, acidity or acidic character of carboxylic acid. We have studied a part of this topic in the other chapters also, like in alcohols as well as in phenols. We know alcohols are acidic. They were acidic because they were able to donate a proton. Similarly, phenols were also acidic. This was proven by a reaction by reaction with bases. Phenols were also acidic because they too were able to donate a proton. Similarly, carboxylic acids are also acidic. See, whenever a carboxylic acid is dissociated, it tends to give you carboxylate ion and a proton. Any compound which can donate a proton easily is called an acid. The same is true for alcohols as well as phenols. So alcohols are acidic, phenols are acidic, and carboxylic acids are also acidic in nature. They are acidic because they can donate proton easily. Now, among all the three, among alcohols, phenols and carboxylic acids, who is a stronger acid? Who is the strongest acid, and how do you identify? Now, you recall the reactions that you have studied in alcohols and phenols, wherein alcohols reacted with metals. Alcohols reacted with metals to give you corresponding salt. Similarly, phenols reacted with metals to give you corresponding salts. But phenols also reacted with base. Alcohols did not react. This one reaction showed us that phenols are more acidic than alcohols. Understood? Let us see whether carboxylic acids react with metals or not. So, if a carboxylic acid is reacted with a metal, with a alkali metal, then we get salt, that is sodium carboxylate, liberating hydrogen gas. Liberating hydrogen gas. So this reaction shows that carboxylic acids are acidic in nature. Now, how strong they are when you compare carboxylic acids with alcohols and phenols? Similarly, you try another reaction. If a carboxylic acid is made to react with a base, it also reacts with a base to give you again salt and water. This reaction was shown by alcohols, it was shown by phenols, it is also shown by carboxylic acids. So it is proven all the three are acidic. This reaction was shown by phenols, it is also now shown by carboxylic acids, it was not shown by alcohols. So alcohols are less acidic than phenols. Now we have phenols and carboxylic acids in the same range. Let us see, there is one more reaction wherein carboxylic acid reacts with sodium bicarbonate, reacts with sodium hydrogen carbonate or sodium bicarbonate, and it gives salt plus water plus carbon dioxide. This one reaction of carboxylic acid with carbonate and bicarbonates distinguishes it, separates it from alcohols and phenols. In what weave? In the weave that it is a stronger acid. How, sir? It is because this reaction is not shown by phenols. Phenols do not react with sodium carbonate and bicarbonate. This shows that phenols are less acidic than carboxylic acids. So on a comparative ground, whether alcohols react with sodium? Yes. Phenols react with sodium? Yes. Carboxylic acids react with sodium? Yes. They all react. Whether it reacts with base? No. It reacts with base? Yes. Whether it reacts with base? Yes. Whether it reacts with carbonates and bicarbonates? No. Phenols? No. And this one, NaHCO3 and Na2CO3, with both of them. So these reactions help us to compare all the three compounds, that is alcohols, phenols and carboxylic acids, on the basis of their acidic strength. On the basis of acidic strength, carboxylic acids are stronger acids than phenols, which are stronger acids than alcohols. Other than this criteria, that is with respect to reactions, we have another reason to prove, we have another concept to prove that carboxylic acids are stronger acids. It is the dissociation constant studies. We call that part as relative acidity. We call that as relative acidity. You know that Ka or dissociation constant is used to express the acidic strength of any compound. Based on dissociation constant values, you can say whether a given compound is more acidic or less acidic. However, it would be much convenient if you express the acidic strength of a compound in terms of pKa rather than Ka. pKa is negative logarithm of dissociation constant. It is more convenient if you explain the acidic strength of any compound, in terms of its pK values and not in Ka values. So keeping that in mind, now you remember, I will give you the ranges. If any compound has got pKa values less than 1, then we say they are strong acids. They are strong acids. Now, acids which have pKa value of range between 1 to 5, then we call them as moderately strong. What do we call them? We call them moderately strong acids. We call them as moderately strong acids. Then, if any compound has got pKa value up to 15, means from where to where? From 5 to 15, then we say they are weak acids. We call them as weak acids. Remember these ranges. And those which have greater than 15, they are extremely weak. They are extremely weak. If this is in mind, then I'll give you a rough pKa values of these three compounds. alcohols have a pKa value roughly of around 16. Some books claim it is 18. Phenols have pKa value roughly around 10, and carboxylic acids roughly around 5. Their range is around 5. Now, looking at these pK values, you can tell who is the stronger acid. So, carboxylic acid is stronger acid than, it is a stronger acid than phenol, which is a stronger acid than alcohols. If this part is known, if you have a mineral acid like say HCl, HCl pK value is -7. Then if I give you 4 compounds, a mineral acid, carboxylic acid, phenols and alcohols, who is the strongest acid? The strongest acid is a mineral acid, followed by carboxylic acid, then comes phenols, then comes alcohols. So do not forget, you can explain the acidic strength of a compound based on the reactions they undergo, or else based on the pK values. Based on pK values, if any compound has got pK less than 1, it is strong acid. Here we have -7 for mineral acid, therefore it is strongest acid. Those having values between 1 and 5, they are moderately strong. 5 to 15 weak acids, greater than 15, they are extremely weak acids. Alcohols have value around 16, so they are extremely weak acids. They are extremely weak, therefore they do not react with base and carbonates or bicarbonates. So all these reactions give us an idea that carboxylic acids are stronger acids than phenols and alcohols. Now this part is over. There is another part to prove that carboxylic acids are stronger acids. One is by reactions, second is by pK values, third is by their resonance structures. You see, you can write the resonance structures of carboxylic acids as shown. If this reaction is over, I'll write the structure of only carboxylate ion. You see, this is carboxylate ion. Okay. Its resonance structure, this negative charge appears here, the double bonded electrons are transferred to the oxygen. Then we have RCO, here minus, here double bond O. Again this negative charge comes back, making these double bonded electrons to shift on oxygen. So the final structure will be RCOO. These are the resonance structures for carboxylate ion. Now we say the strength of any acid depends on its ability to be in the proton form. Unless a compound donates proton, you cannot call it as an acid. You say alcohols are acidic because it gives protons. You say phenols are acidic because they do give protons. Here we say carboxylic acids are acids because they give protons. Unless a compound remains in the ionic form, as long as it remains in this ionic form, only then its acidic strength increases. Clear? Now, you see the resonance structures, wherein in the resonance structures you will see that the negative charge appears on oxygen atoms. To prove that a compound is acidic, we have a concept of resonance which says that more the number of resonance structures, more is the acidic strength. If I am not wrong, you might have studied in phenols resonance structures, in acidity of phenols, where even you write the resonance structures of phenoxide ion. You see, if you have forgotten, follow this again. See, if this is phenoxide ion, this negative charge comes here and the double bond electrons shift outside. Therefore, you have the next structure as this is O plus and here minus. Corresponding structures are these. Now finally you have the last structure, which is a hybrid, or you can say the same repeating structure as the first one. These were the structures of phenoxide ion. These are the structures of phenoxide ion, and the above structures are the structures of carboxylate ion. I said the strength of any compound as an acid depends on its ability to remain in ionic form. As long as a compound exists in its ionic form, the same time is available for this compound to give protons. As long as it is giving protons, then it will remain in acidic form. This is one part. The second part is, if any compound has got more resonance structures in its ionic form, its acidic strength is also more. Keeping that in mind, you now compare the resonance structures of carboxylate ion and phenoxide ion. Phenoxide ion has got roughly say 5 structures, whereas carboxylate ion has got only 2 structures. If I count this as the resonance hybrid or the same original structure, then you see you have got so many structures for phenoxide ion, but for carboxylate there are only 2 structures. If you follow this logic, you will be able to say, or you might say, sir, phenoxide ion has got more resonance structures, so its acidic strength should be more. Okay, agreed. But what about the reactions that carboxylic acid underwent? You see, carboxylic acid showed 3 reactions. Phenols reacted with only 2 reagents. So if you consider these, then carboxylic acids are stronger acids. If you compare pK values, carboxylic acids are stronger acids. Then simply by resonance structures, how do you conclude that phenoxide ion, or in short phenols, are more acidic? Phenols are not more acidic. So when I say based on resonance structures you can also say whether a compound is more acidic or not, it is true, but not here. Why? You see, in carboxylate ion you have 2 resonance structures. We call them as equivalent structures. We call them as equivalent structures. In phenoxide ion you have non-equivalent structures, and in carboxylate ion the negative charge appeared on oxygen once, twice. Understood? It appeared on oxygen twice. What kind of an atom is oxygen? Oxygen is an electronegative atom. So when negative charge appears on more electronegative atom multiple times, follow my words, when negative charge appears on more electronegative atom multiple times, its acidic strength increases. Follow the same explanation for phenoxide ion. You notice in the phenoxide ion, negative charge did not appear on oxygen. It appeared only once. The same structure reappeared in the last. So we consider it once. So the negative charge appeared on oxygen once, whereas it has appeared thrice, once, twice and thrice on carbons. It has appeared thrice on carbon, which is usually a electropositive atom. This one difference, striking difference, is enough to prove that even though phenols or phenoxide ion has got more number of resonance structures, it is less acidic than carboxylic acids. Why carboxylic acids are more stronger acids than phenols? How will you explain this by resonance? Remember, any compound is more acidic if it has got equivalent resonance structures, and if the electronegative atom has got negative charge on it multiple times. This line would be enough to explain that carboxylic acids are stronger acids than phenols, which are stronger acids than alcohols. I hope this property is clear. Now we shall see other chemical properties. Now you understood that carboxylic acids are stronger acids. How will you remember this? You can explain the acidic strength of any compound, or in general carboxylic acids, by virtue of three properties. One is by their reactions, second is by their pK values, third is by their resonance structures. Now we have second property, chemical property, reactions involving cleavage of RCO-OH bond. This time you have reactions involving cleavage of, simply write COH bond. Under this you have first property, formation of anhydride. Some of you might not understand what is this COH bond. So if you take carboxylic acid, the last property showed that you were interested in breaking the bond here between O and H. This time you are breaking the bond here, COH bond. Understood? This is second property, reactions involving cleavage of COH bond. Under that, first is formation of anhydride. Whenever carboxylic acid is heated, it undergoes dehydration. When it undergoes dehydration, anhydride is formed. What is anhydride? Anhydride is any compound, it is any compound which does not contain water in it. Anhydrous. So that is anhydride. When it is heated in the presence of dehydrating agent like phosphorus pentoxide or sulfuric acid. In order to carry out dehydration, you need 2 molecules of carboxylic acid. So I will write 2 molecules of carboxylic acid. You remove water, then what product will you obtain? RCO. This is anhydride. This is anhydride. If you are not able to write, if you are not able to follow this one, you can write simply 2RCOH. That will also be fine. You try the same for acetic acid. When 2 molecules of acetic acid are taken and heated in presence of phosphorus pentoxide and or sulfuric acid, then you will get acetic anhydride. You will get acetic anhydride. Simple reaction. How will you write the statement? Whenever carboxylic acids are heated in the presence of dehydrating agent like phosphorus pentoxide or sulfuric acid, we get anhydrides as the product. That's all. Then you have second property, it is esterification. You have already studied this property in alcohols as well as phenols. It is simply a repetition. Here carboxylic acids react with alcohols in the presence of concentrated sulfuric acid to give you product. You remove water and the what product is obtained? You will get ester. Do not forget what is the role of concentrated sulfuric acid in this reaction. It acts as a dehydrating agent. It helps in removal of water. If you fail to write concentrated sulfuric acid, this reaction will become reversed. The same esters will get hydrolyzed to give you alcohol and carboxylic acid. To avoid the reversibility, you are supposed to write concentrated sulfuric acid. So 2 properties are there in reactions involving COH bond cleavage. One is formation of anhydride. Here you use concentrated sulfuric acid. In the second reaction also you use concentrated sulfuric acid. Out of these 2, the second one, esterification, is an important question for exam. Then we have reaction with PCl3, PCl5 and SOCl2. You have studied these reactions in haloalkanes chapter also, but still we shall see how they react. You take carboxylic acid, react it with PCl3. You take carboxylic acid, react it with PCl5 once, or else you take carboxylic acid, react it with SOCl2, thionyl chloride. SOCl2 is thionyl chloride. What happens when these reactions take place? You see, whenever carboxylic acids react with phosphorus trichloride, then you get acid chloride as the product, RCOCl. Then you have another product, RCOCl. Along with this you have H3, PO3, phosphorus acid. You take 3 molecules of carboxylic acid, you will get 3 molecules of acid chloride, and the rest is balanced. Whenever carboxylic acids react with phosphorus trichloride, you get acid chloride as the product. The same can be written for this, RCOCl plus 1Cl and 1H, HCl, then P remains, O remains, 3 chlorine remain, phosphorus oxychloride. This also gives you acid chloride as product. When you react carboxylic acid with thionyl chloride, compulsorily use pyridine, which is a mild base. It gives RCOCl plus SO2 plus HCl. In this reaction, the role of pyridine is to remove HCl formed in the reaction, whereas sulfur dioxide, being a gas, can be easily removed. So if you want to prepare acid chlorides, out of the 3, the last method is the best suited method, as the 2 byproducts that you get, that is SO2 and HCl, they being gases, can be removed easily. Somehow if HCl is not going out, it is removed by use of pyridine. So how many properties have you studied? You have studied 3 properties under the heading reactions involving cleavage of COH bond. There are much more properties to be studied. We shall deal with them in our next session. Thank you.